today what I'm going to be doing is I want to get some totes on this front rack, the new rack that they are doing with the 2020 models. And I was going to put like a wood platform under it. Since I'm using a smaller 5-gallon one, I just didn't like it sitting out in the open like that. But in staying with the no wood, I decided to put in a plastic platform. So this is the piece I cut. I got this 1/2-inch PVC plastic at Home Depot, and I cut it out. I primed it with 2 coats, top and bottom, and then I used a black flat exterior paint that has primer in it as well, and did 2 coats of that. So it's well protected. And what my plan is, I was looking for big U-bolts that would go across the bars here, but I couldn't find something that wide. So instead, I'm just going to be using these small little bolts, U-bolts. They are 1/4 inch by 1 and 1/8 inch by 2. And I'm just going to put 1 in each corner, and if I think I need more, I might put 1 in the middle, maybe 2 in the middle, but I think that'll work. And then after I get this platform in, then I'll put these Craftsman, a 30-gallon and a 5-gallon in, and with each of them I'll just have these U-bolts, and these are 5/16 by 2 by 3 square U-bolts. So yesterday I got the platform on. I used these small U-bolts, 2 on each end, and then I had planned to do just 2 in here, but just what I do. I like to overkill, but it really made it much more solid. So now I'll be putting the small one. So I added these 2 Craftsman storage boxes, 20-gallon and a 5-gallon. So I attached them through the plastic and with 4 U-bolts on this one, and then the 5-gallon I did 3 of them. And this smaller one is for this Coleman dual fuel stove, because I don't want that Coleman fuel, the white gas, mixed in. So this will be in there plus. And then underneath here you can see how I've attached them onto the rail. So they're locked tight and will of course stay right there. Just got back from my son-in-law and his father's business, and they wired up everything for me. Unfortunately, I didn't buy enough of this cord mate, and so we had enough to do here. I thought they taped it up here for me, and so actually I'm going to take this tape off and show you. Then I'm going to put this on and caulk it all in, and so looks great, and you almost don't even notice it. Nice and bright, and twice as much as I had before, so I'm really excited about that. Let me move the camera and I'll just show you a close-up of what they did. I am not going to do a tutorial about how to wire these. On YouTube there's a million videos, so I did take some pictures to show you, but I'll move up closer so you can get a little closer look at what they basically did. Just standard wiring. So here are the wiring from this light, then they connected it to this light down here, as you can see, and then it goes down, it tags into the lights down there. So I'll be taking this and making it look like this with the raceway. Nice and neat, and it'll be caulked in as well. is our 2020 RangeRunner with ARB 2000 millimeter, which is basically a little over 6 feet wide and comes out a little over 8 feet. And you see the stripe on top, and that's actually a sewn in section. Let me show you that. Like a really neat feature, they've got this sleeve here, vinyl sleeve, and then you can either get the awning with the LED kit, which is what I did, and I'll be showing you some footage of that. This cord comes out here, and what you do is when you're rolling it back up, you just kind of hold it as you gather and roll it back up, and you just leave it right there, and it works great. And it runs off 12 volts, so it's got this nice long cord. I think it's 13-15 feet long, and so you have to have some way to power it 12 volt. In this case, I'm using a Jackery 160 that's got can run 12 volt, and it can do other things as well. And or you may need an adapter if you don't have something like this to run off shore power. But the nice thing about it, it's got controls. So here, let's see, I will turn it off, turn it back on. It's got 3 color combinations. It's got this pure white, this amber, combination of white and amber, and then back to the white. So we've got those 3 options. And then it's also got a dimmer. So I can take this white light and bring it way, way down. And then I can bring it back up. Make sure I get the right button here. There we go. So what I've done is I've just used a couple of clamps to hold them in place, and then I'm using painter's tape to mark. And I've got the ARB, the bolts snugged but not tight, just to help everything in place, just to kind of plan where I want it to be. But we have it so it's still an inch or 2 away from the edge, so that when it goes over the door, when it goes over the camper itself, there's not a gap for the rain to come through. Absolutely make sure that you have a piece of wood underneath so you won't do something fatal to the roof. So now I'm through the top, now I'll go through the bottom. And when you get the awning, it comes with these 6 millimeter bolts that slide in these channels. And these are 8 millimeter bolts. And I've got a nut, a washer, a nut, and a lock nut. And they are really tightened down. So there's 3 with each one. And I think with this awning, that is more than enough. Some people. Well, I've shown you some of the modifications and additions that I did to the exterior. What are we using in the new 2020 model that we use in the 4x8? Just about everything. It doesn't really change how we camp. It's just that we have a little more room, that's for sure. But some of the things that we use, and I'm putting these at the end of each of the videos, we use a small dehumidifier. We use a Polonus ceramic heater furnace. Uses a lot of juice, so you couldn't run that with the battery pack. If you did, it'd be not very long. So most of the time what we're doing is using shore power. And I did a poll recently on a couple of the Runaway Facebook pages, and even though it's not 100% scientific, it did show that most people, the vast majority, use shore power 75 to 100% of the time when they're camping. Now and then they don't. When we were at the national parks this past summer, we had no power, but the batteries that I have, I've got a Jackery 160 and a Jackery 500 and a 100 watt solar panel, and that gets us through just about everything we need. Air conditioning is not a big deal with me. We were at Capitol Reef and in Utah, and it was pretty hot, and we just ran some fans, and we can do that very easily with these units. I do have a really nice Honda generator that I bought right after I bought our 4x8 Navigator, now called the Cool Camp, and I found that I really only used it 2 or 3 times. I just don't like hauling it. I don't like to mess with the gas. And like the national parks that I just mentioned, you can only run those generator 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and that's it. And so for me, it's just not worth bringing it. I'm not sorry I bought it, because sometimes when the power goes out here, I can still run our well, or if it's cold, I could run our wood pellet stove. So I'm glad we have it, but I absolutely don't take it anymore. So things haven't changed dramatically with the camping. One thing we have noticed is there definitely is some installation value in those fiberglass panels in the new RangeRunners and all of the Runaway Campers with the new fiberglass models. You still need to crack a window and be proactive about condensation, but we've really noticed the difference with that. So we're looking forward to years and years of great camping experiences with our new 2020 model. Thanks for watching.